Hello BookTube, this is Sarah from Never Out of Books, and today I am filming my July wrap-up. This is going to be all the books that I read in July minus the books that I read for the BookTube-a-thon, which I've already wrapped up. In total there are 9, so I didn't do too shabby this month. The first book that I finished in July was Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. This book was definitely very hyped on BookTube a couple years ago and in the past year as well as a book for readers. This was a mystery that revolved around a secret society of readers. I enjoyed this book. It was a bit slow and it wasn't quite what I expected because people were saying there was magical realism and other elements in it which I didn't get. So I ended up giving this book 3 stars, which is a run-of-the-mill good book rating for me. So it was a good book, but not quite what I was expecting, and it was definitely a bit slower than I expected. The next book that I read on my Kindle. It is called An Event to Remember or Forget by Melissa Baldwin. This was forgettable. At the end of the month, I don't even really remember much about what it is about. It is a chick lit book. I ended up giving it 2 stars because I really didn't enjoy it very much. Looking back, I remember thinking the main character was very annoying. There was nothing new to add to the chick lit, and it also wasn't very funny, which is what I like when I read a chick lit book. I like to really laugh and enjoy it, and this I didn't do either. In this book, our main character is an event planner and she wants to go out on her own and open her own company. Her boss is awful. Yeah, it was just not good. Not for me. 2 stars. The next book I picked up on my Nook, it is a young adult contemporary romance book. It was called Adventures in Funeral Crashing by Milda Harris. This also, it was a cute book. And there were themes with healing after loss, which again, I don't think there are ever too many books about that because we all lose people, and so these books are important. But this one didn't really add anything to the genre that I saw. Another book, 2 stars. The next book that I read was Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. This, as you all know, has been hyped on BookTube as well. This is a young adult Western book. And this, as the title may suggest, is a revenge book. Another where a girl dresses as a boy. She's a strong girl. But I found this book to be a little bit too angry for me. I'm not really into revenge and vengeance books. So it was okay. I ended up giving it 3 stars. That being said, my grandfather read it and he loved it. So to each their own, right? The next book that I read was called Results May Vary by Bethany Chase. This I won an advanced copy in the Penguin First Reads group that I'm part of. I read it on my iPad, which I also film on. I really enjoyed this book. This is a chick lit book where the protagonist's husband cheats on her with another man. They'd been married for, I believe, around 15 years, and they were always thought of as the perfect couple. I really liked this book. The writing was incredibly smooth. I thought that our protagonist handled this in a very adult manner. There was no throwing out his belongings and burning them. There was none of that awful revenge stuff that most people don't get away with in real life. So I liked that. I liked how we found out that their life really wasn't as perfect as everyone thought it was. The only thing that I didn't really like about this book was that she was so fixated on her husband cheating on her with a man. And I feel like cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter what gender it is. So I don't understand why she was so fixated on wanting to know why her husband was suddenly bisexual. I don't see what that really had to do with anything. but that's my personal opinion. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. So if you're a fan of the chick lit or women's fiction genre, I would highly recommend you go and pick up Results May Vary. I believe it comes out August 8th. The next book I picked up from the library and brought it back already, Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rosh. This is the second book in the Snow Like Ashes trilogy. The third book in the trilogy is coming out, I believe, in September, and I cannot wait. So these books are a young adult fantasy series where every little country is a season. Our lovely protagonist is trying to figure out how to fit in as queen. And she's dealing with the struggle of identity in this, really, because everyone thinks that a queen should be a certain way, and she's a warrior. She was raised as a warrior, and so as they're going around and around to all of these other countries trying to get support, so there's a lot of political intrigue as well, she's also trying to find herself. I like the balance in these books between the political intrigues and action, because it's a really nice mix. Whereas some series, they seem a little bit slower because it's all political, and then other series, it's all action all the time. This is a really nice blend. And I also really enjoy how winter is portrayed as such a lovely season. And winter is my favorite season, so I kind of like these books, and I'm slightly biased. That being said, if you haven't started this series, I think there has been some hype, but it's definitely died down now a little bit, but I recommend it. I really enjoy it, so go and read it. And I gave this book 4 stars. The next book that I picked up off of my Kindle. It is called Stolen Fury, and it is by Elizabeth Naughton. This is an adult romantic suspense novel, and it is the first in either a trilogy or a series. This book is about a woman named Lisa. She is an archaeologist, and Raffae, who is a thief, and they end up teaming together because of events to try to find these treasures called the Furies. This book was good, but I haven't read romantic suspense in a while, and I found all of the lustful looking at each other and all of that drama to be slightly inappropriate at the times that it was happening. When you are being chased by people with guns, I don't think that you're noticing what someone's booty looks like. I'm just saying. Lisa, though, is a very independent and strong woman, but I did find that this book went a little bit too long. Finding the last Fury took what seemed like forever, and there were some parts where I didn't quite believe it. Raffae and his brother have an awful relationship as one of the side points in this novel, and things just kind of got all tied up in a bow very quickly for them. That being said, it was an enjoyable book to read, and I gave it 3.5 stars. The next book that I picked up was Size 14 is Not Fat Either by Meg Cabot. This is the second book in a series about a girl named Heather Wells, and you just need to read them. That's all I'm going to say. These books are hysterical, okay? These are the type of books that you do have to suspend reality just a little bit and just go with it and enjoy. It's a mashup between a chick lit and a cozy mystery, I would say. There's definite focus on the mystery. There is some love interest going on, but it's not the main focus of the book. And in this book, Heather is still working at a university dorm, and they find the head of one of the students roasting on the stove. And it goes from there. And yes, I know it sounds gruesome, but it's done in a very funny way. Some of the fun parts are when her ex-fiance starts coming into the picture again. He is a rock star and he is now engaged to another woman, and these people are funny. Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, go read this series. It is a finite series. There are 5 books and it is already completely written, so you can get them all at your library. I'm sure they're there. Go. And the last book that I read this month was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. This is a young adult contemporary romance. Lena's mother dies early on in the book, and it was her mother's last wish that she go and live with her father in Italy, who she didn't know anything about and has not been in her life ever, after she dies. So she goes and is a typical grieving teenager at the beginning. Her mother had already sent a journal for her to read, and as she reads this journal and discovers her mother's love story, she goes to the places in Florence that her mother went to try to feel a connection with her. Lena also meets a boy and some other kids that she's going to be going to school with in September, and shenanigans ensue. This is a very, very cute book. I ended up giving it only 3.5 stars though. I got a little bit frustrated with Lena, maybe because I'm an adult reading the book and I just kind of wanted to slap her and say, will you just finish the journal already? Why are you going off to Rome? Why are you going here? Why? Why are you speculating on what's going to happen next when you have it all sitting there? Just read it already. But it redeemed itself at the end because the end was super sweet, super nice, and I really would recommend this again for a younger audience of young adult. It's a very cute book. So that's the end of that. Anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful reading month. I will be back with my August TBR in a few days, and I also have a book haul again to film as well, so I will see you again. Bye.